All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Street Fighter 5 101 Fight Nights here on the PlayStation channel, where we're going to be talking about more Street Fighter 5 action here. It's not over yet. Yes, we have concluded the Capcom Cup, but there's still an epilogue. There's still some post-author notes to write down, and we're going to be doing that today. I'm going to be one of your commentators today, Jammers, and alongside me, I can't get rid of him because I was with him a week ago, but he's got to talk to me. David, how are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. As you said, Street Fighter 5 is still going. It's still my favorite Street Fighter game. I'm still playing it with friends. We're still going to be going to the local this Friday. We're still making this game happen. And I'm really happy that other players are doing the same thing still. Yes, SF6 obviously on the horizon. We got more news about it today. But in the meantime, SF5 still a great game, and I'm very happy to be here commentating for it.
Yeah, fantastic indeed. But you know what? Before we kick off the games, we got to make sure we just recap and summarize everything for you guys. And this is how the format is going to be working for tonight's Fight Night. So it is an open qualifier. The players can get in there, and then we have to comprise of a top 8 bracket. The top 8 will be comprised of double elimination games, and there's going to be best of 3 throughout until we get to the top 3, which is best of 5. So that means the winners final, the losers final, and the grand finals as well. We'll obviously remind you closer to the time when we get to that part of the bracket. But then, David, these guys are playing for some money. What are they playing for?
Of course, yeah, as you can see, $200 on the line for first place. Second through fourth, $150, $150. And again, one thing that I always love about this is that everybody who makes it that far gets compensated for their time. Always a blast to see that. So that's what will be on the line here for this. As far as who we're going to have competing for those top 4 spots for all that money, here is the list.
Hey, so we've got some returning faces. I think we've got 1 or 2 new faces. So I see Flux, very familiar name, El Chapote,
Oh, yeah.
Kaifan. We've got Evie as well, Kill Me Mr. Puppy. Yeah, all the guys are here. Shadow Ace as well, Ed player. So it's fantastic to see these guys are staying consistent in these Fight Night tournaments. And, you know, still collecting that money because, like you said, David, there's still things to play for before we conclude things and transition over to Street Fighter 6.
Exactly right, exactly right. So we'll be looking first, as you can see, at Old Pongolong versus Shadow Ace. Gonna be looking forward to that. That's gonna be Old Pongolong, age 37, old, huh? Not compared to me, but from Long Beach. That's cool. We got a Dalsum lined up here. One of my absolute favorite characters to watch in this game. He is a blast to play. Obviously very strong, but in a very interesting, movement-heavy, aware kind of way. Going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Indeed it is. But then his opponent, let's see if he's just his age or just slightly younger. He's slightly younger indeed in Shadow Ace, age 35, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia. As you can see, he has been in these things quite consistently, and he's back to make a name for himself as well. I like it, racking up the tournament wins here, being consistent. It's fantastic to see, and it's going to be a matchup that we did see a fair bit in the European region. Dalsum versus Ed, courtesy of Mr. Crimson and Ending Walker. The guys are practicing up to the Cup, leading to that as well. They had good performances in the Cup that which happened not too long ago. But I want to see the American perspective on this. I always like different regions and then perspective on matchups that could come in high frequency or could be extremely uncommon. It's all subjective at the end of the day.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think in watching this from players that we have here in NA, you know, we have our own Eds, we have our own Dalsums. I would say commonly viewed as a matchup that Dalsum does well in. It can be a matchup where Ed has trouble getting in the first place. His, you know, reversal DP is slower than many, and so some of Dalsum's pressure is harder for him to escape from than I think other characters who do have kind of reversal type options. But just that general stage control is going to be a huge part of this match.
Indeed it is. Now, I know there was some tech Ending Walker was working on. Maybe Shadow Ace has seen his matches against Mr. Crimson or whatnot, but after you press selected limbs, so you stand medium punch, you stand medium kick, Ed can micro walk and do crouch fierce, look for the crush counter because of the priority system, and then try and get a juggle from that, because that's probably the safest thing to do. And it will obviously mitigate the amount of damage he does because he doesn't need to force a jump in that scenario. And he can also mix things up with a dash as well. So it will be a test of Pongolong's reaction. Again, your reactions can improve, or they can improve with your age. Don't let age fool you. The Japanese players are still playing. They're still pretty consistent with their reactions. But let's see how these guys handle it here on the first match of today's Fight Night.
I'm shaking here.
Ah, with the good hit squad. Nice work.
They got good colors on their
I agree,
tracksuit
dude,
things
yeah.
over, so
They
should've
do.
bought some. Right, there you go. So again, Shadow Ace going with his staple V system loadout, all V skill 1, V trigger 1 as well. Now, if I can remember correctly, Pongolong likes to teleport unnecessarily sometimes. Sometimes the danger, sometimes to escape. I don't know if he's going to continue doing that. So.
Well, here you go. You had the read on it early. It's the moment when I think many also players wouldn't approach. Will he go in here? No! Interesting. He just cut off the screen. Nice call. Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm not sure if that was a EX cycle up there, but it worked out anyway. V reversals immediately. The psycho stream does not come out unless you have time to breathe, because if you immediately hit Ed, it disappears. So V trigger 1's gone.
Right back to where Pongolong feels like he's comfortable. Yeah, cut him off there. Maybe out to the other side. Yes. Again, that's what I was mentioning. Ed, slow on that. It does allow Dawson to land in situations where other characters' TPs might have worked.
Oh, what a teleport. Again, being so elusive, being a very annoying and maneuverable character here, making sure Shadow Ace doesn't get a firm grasp on his movement, makes it difficult to get a clean hit, because that was kind of like a death by 1,000 cuts there, David.
Oh, here we go, though. Great chance maybe for Shadow Ace. Doesn't overpress, which is good to see. Gotta feel confident in your ability to get back in, and he is here with the V-skill.
Oh, okay. Missed his chance to anti-air, probably the back medium punch, but couldn't react in time. And another teleport out of there. Again, keeping Shadow Ace guessing. Can't get him to consistently score damage. This is probably why he picks V-Trigger 1. It forces a scramble, but it'll be able to give Shadow Ace more offensive options to be able to lock him down.
Yeah, force your way in, I think is the idea here.
And fierce. That was brilliant stuff.
Too high up for that combo, though, and so, again, right back to where he feels comfortable. Oh, hold on a sec, though.
V-shift. He tried a double throw. I think he couldn't identify that was a V-shift, because if he could manage to do a sweep, he would have been able to put him in the corner, and he could have got a pick up there.
On the juggle? Yeah. And that's it, and being thrown away here. I'm surprised did not go in. Yeah, he does, after all.
Yeah, it's like he's
like... away right now, there could be a V-trigger when it gets set up in here. Indeed, here it is.
Yeah, it's like, again, missed opportunity to punish with a V-shift, and he puts him in the Psycho Cannon. And he's going to do big damage here, and he's going to cancel into the super. That's not going to kill, but because that was basically unscaled, he'll leave with a speck of health left. I lie. What?
Wow. Well, that was a chunk of change to take off the life bar right there.
Oh, if there's any way to score damage in this match, it's via that. That was brilliant. What a way to keep yourself in the fight.
950 health character here.
Okay, punish. Oh, he could have punished that just with a light kick, though. He couldn't have been able to cancel. It might have been too far for the Yoga Flame, but I would have taken any punish.
It's a big opportunity here for Shadow Ace. Yeah, got the corner. Good damage as well. No! A drop from him as well as they're playing coast to coast.
All right, pressure being applied. He's not going to V-reversal out of there, so Pongolong takes his turn and gets out. Psycho Cannon comes out again. What a throw. And he can get another one, actually.
Yeah, dangerous spot here. Just well... Pongolong interrupts right away.
Watch out for the Psycho Upper. He might go look for it soon. No, still blocking it out. But let him cook.
Great work by Shadow Ace as he jumped back there, but trying it anyway. Oh, that actually could have been the kill. Here it is. Couple chances. Shadow Ace did take the last one.
There you go. Closing out game 1 is Shadow Ace there. Little tricky. Just like you said, David, a couple of chances there, but I'm not sure if he's expecting things to be blocked. I'm not sure if he has worked on the juggle situation from when Dawson is flown, because that was a change in the last version of the game. So you really need to pick up that. I'm not sure if Psycho Up was slow enough or slow that it misses, so he can identify the height distance. That's a way to articulate it. So he's definitely leaving damage on the table, but the fact that he was able to like draw out the win there was actually good in itself. So I'll take that.
What matters in the end.
Yep, whether hook or by crook. Shot? Yeah. Oh.
No.
Did you think this
was 3-frame anti-air, but it just gets passed right by by the new system over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Jab anti-airs and what they once were.
Alright, he does air gale, but I think he's trying to anticipate a dash there from Shadow Ace, but I like this patience right now. He'll just take a stand for this. He's still floating and teleporting, so the thing is, once Shadow Ace gets a hard read Like, he'll take it and put him in the corner, but still needs to be very extremely careful. Nice jump back.
Oh, here's a chance on knockdown. Right, away. This is a chance, yeah.
Oh, this is good. Good movement
Close.
here.
Maybe I'm going to bail out CP. Nothing came.
Yeah. He hasn't done one since the first round, I think, and that was only for a combo extender, so he's going to need to change up his tactics here, unless Shadow Ace is leading him into a false sense of security. Oh.
Lots of movement here by Pongolong. And giving up some chances for punishes in the meantime, but hoping to prioritize safety and distance. Makes sense.
He gets the jab interruption, but he goes for crouch like kick instead of stand like kick instead. No V-break. I think V-break would have been better in that scenario to give him some more breathing space, but puts out the EX fire and the punish.
Oh, the second. 13 on the clock.
That's
and
going to work.
This is going to give him the life lead.
Yeah, it is.
And take off almost all the time on the clock as well, giving very little time for Pongolong to take this.
No, dude. Oh, I don't agree with that.
Maybe. Oh, and yeah, that's plus. You got to respect it afterward, and Shadow Ace tried the button out.
Oh, I'm not sure I agree with that decision. I think he had a very good position there. He should have just backed away and ran off, but and the clock works for both players, not just one. One of you does the work.
Nice navigation over that fireball right there by Pongolong. He's on top.
All right, pressure being applied. Use the Psycho Knuckle, try to steal a turn there, but Pongolong was well aware. And again, I love his game knowledge and just understanding until that unfortunate hiccup. There'll be big damage here into the upward snatcher. Oh dear, he's stunned. He's got it stunned.
All of a sudden, that fell apart so fast. Not out of the point yet.
Nice reset.
Plus, after that medium kick.
Wow,
okay.
He was so stubborn with that slide. I respect it. Letting him burn, and here comes the cannon. It's going to come in a minute. That's what he's waiting for.
Sure. Sure. Oh, no.
No
and no anti-air either.
That was a perfect... Yeah, that was a perfect angle for crouch medium punch.
Hoping to see wake FTP again, I think, with that fireball there to get a big punish on him. With Cooper, Pongolong is very dangerous.
Oh, you can dash under that.
Get there in time? Surely. He can fix it up. You know, theoretically, that could have been as a cross-up, but Shadow Ace did not believe it.
Yeah. Nice jump fierce. He's waiting
underneath. Oh, Pongolong. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I like it because they're kind of the rally of adaptation, the back and forth that's happening between these two is actually very good to see, and I really think it's based on Pongolong's movements, his decisions, and his movement in general is what's dictating this whole game. So it's really down to Shadow Ace, which he has been doing really well. Just to kind of just not commit, but he just has to navigate around it and then find that window of opportunity. But the fact that he had the gall to sit there and think that he wasn't going to get crossed up from the CA, I got to commend him for that. I really got to respect him for that.
Oh, great stuff. Just walking forward. Yes, absolutely. Very tough for Dawson to escape those kind of situations.
Yeah.
Took a little turn. Maybe could have had a stand like kick punish, but that's very little in the circumstances.
Oh, we got the jump fist again, and you know what? Jump fist has actually been working wonders for Pongolong, and I really think Shadow Ace to try and commit to an invincible move or even a Psycho Rising in that situation, but you can look for a trade. What did it escape?
Yeah, the navigation's looking great. Right,
there you go.
Control. Big stuff, hoping for the bounce. No, medium kick's fine. Big chance of a punish. And it's match point for Pongolong, just like that.
Dude, what a turnaround. You know, I actually kind of like watching this guy's Dawson. This improved since the last time I seen him. Really good. It's away.
Okay, Shadow Ace has a chance now. Pressure coming.
Okay, throw tech there. Good backdash to avoid the roundhouse, but Shadow Ace still being stubborn with his heavies. Puts him in the corner with the Psycho Knuckle, though. And that's going to be stunned. It almost was.
Almost. Anything still. Maybe hoping to bait something out there. Look at this. It's still almost done. And finally, I feel like that was 15 seconds of almost done. Finally it was. And it's match point now for both.
Yeah, I think these guys, they're not afraid to commit because when they know they got stunned, it becomes this really huge scramble. And luckily, Shadow Ace took it out, or he emerged victorious there. One apiece, final round, good anti-air. And he's about to build super as well.
Teleport. That was a big intended mix-up by Pongolong there. Totally whiffed on it.
Ran away instead of got his damage. Anti-air, light kick.
Underneath, and Pongolong back to safety.
He just runs away and he teleports into danger. That's what I was saying at the start of the hour.
Reg the teleport, though, I gotta think that was supposed to have been air teleport, and because it was ground, Shadow Ace got a nice punish, nice combo, lots of damage dealt, Pongolong in trouble.
Reversal, good choice. He's still got EX Yoga Fire to work with, but he's going to put out the heavy one instead.
Yeah, and he's almost at super at this point. Not quite.
Reversal again.
So really prioritizing safety, range. Can you get there in time? Well, okay.
Oh, that's going to be big damage, though. Regardless, into the Psycho Splash and V-shifts again, and he held that.
I think he can sweep the approach.
Oh, no!
He did the approach. He was right.
Dude, I thought he was looking to sweep it, but he got hit for his troubles instead, and he's not dodging that V-Skill 1 like he was before because he's got no health. Watch out. Oh, boy.
Underneath. Oh, this is going to be a tough one, but possible. Certainly, Dawson can mount serious offense.
Oh, this is it. This is it. This is it.
Ooh, he's over it. Wow, the navigation. No! The very last interaction was 16 on the clock in the very final round between these two. What a battle. But it's Shadow Ace who moves on.
Well, if that's our first game for tonight, I wonder how the next games, if they're going to live up to the expectations or the hype around that one there. So Shadow Ace in the nail-biting set takes that over Pongolong 2-1. Well played to him. But yes, I got to go back to how the analysis I had, the whole game was dictated around Pongolong's movement. He'd teleport into danger, he'd teleport away from danger. There was inconsistencies with dealing with V-Skill 1. There's times where he comfortably floated it, and he even got like a jump back, and Dawson's got the slowest jump in the game. Another time, he was just a deer in headlights. So with situations like that, you can really tell what his mindset was at in terms of the mental stack. I don't know what you think about that, David.
I think that's a kind of Dawson style that that I've certainly seen many times, and that is very fun to do as the player. You're constantly moving, you're constantly betting, you are controlling space for a large chunk of time, but you're also like moving around on top of the screen, low of the screen, other side. It's a really, really fun style to play. It can also be volatile, you know, to play like that. And as you mentioned, that teleport in, again, I think that was an error. I think it was supposed to have been at least air teleport and not ground teleport, which is way worse to do right up next to the opponent. And we saw the consequences of that. But, you know, even still, clearly Shadow Ace was looking for it, and that might not have gone in Pongolong's favor anyway. So shout outs to Shadow Ace for certainly having a more stable look at how to play that matchup right there. So he moves on.
Yeah, so he's going to be moving on into the winners semi-final, but we're going to be loading up the next match for you guys here in tonight's Fight Nights, which should be, if I'm not mistaken, it should be Kill Me. Yes, Kill Mr. Puppy and Gen 1 Evie. So we got another person in their mid-30s, which is great to see, playing some Rose. So this guy actually impressed me with his Rose last time, because it was me and James last time, I believe, that did one of these. I was really impressed by this player's Rose, but he should be going up against Gen 1 Evie. I can't remember who Gen 1 Evie plays. Oh, there you go. It was the Oro player, so you get to see some Oro, David.
Always a blast to see. In fact, for both of these characters, I'm excited. Rose is not a character that I think is as common as I kind of feel like should be. I think she's quite strong. And yet we just see her rarely still. Whereas Oro, maybe not uncommon nowadays is maybe a way to phrase it. Certainly not all over the place, but not uncommon to see a strong Oro at this point. Fun in both. I know you guys have strong ones in the UK, but also we got some here in NA, and he's fun to watch.
Yes, indeed. And this is, again, an uncommon matchup. I mean, if Street Fighter 5 had one more year, just theoretically, I think we would have seen these guys a little bit more. Because I think they're actually fairly optimized between the players that are actually using both characters. It just didn't get enough screen time. And obviously, because of obvious reasons, it's great that we got these two as content. I mean, I was just thinking about the other day what these two would look like in SF6, to be honest, because they could have been featured in there in the starting roster. It could have been one of those things. But it's great to see them in SF5 and the system that was implemented for them as well. So it's going to be interesting to see this one. Remember, it is best of 3. As much as I'd like to see these two in a best of 5, but we got to stick with the rules.
Yeah, I think that Rose is a really fun character in this game. Very interesting character in this game. Lots of options that are a little unusual, a little different way to control space, a little different way to pressure. Her movement is kind of deceptively strong, I think, as well. And certainly here in SoCal, we have some very strong ones who believe very strongly in that character. Whereas, for Oro, you know, I think certainly he did get some help in patching, but even aside from that, when the character came out, and even longer than that, everybody's talking about the V trigger, and that makes sense. The V trigger is so strong, but don't let Oro players fool you into thinking that that is the only strength of the character. He has good solid pressure. He's got some good solid zoning options, especially in some matchups. He has traps that can be very effective, especially versus some matchups. He has damage output that is legit, even if he doesn't have trigger going. So he can be a scary character in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, some of the conversions both these characters have. I think they got some of the best juggle potential in the game. Depending on who you ask, it is definitely subjective. Obviously, I've seen more optimization or more freedom in terms of combo potential when it comes to Oro. But again, nothing shy of a spectacle. But going back to what you said about Rose, yeah, we had Filipino Man and we had Flaquito in the LCQ for the Capcom Cup, which has happened not too long ago. So unfortunately, they couldn't go the extra mile. But again, those guys have been playing Rose for as long as I've known them as players from SF4. So very long time. Very long time.
Yeah, they were both very excited to have Rose back. And like I said, so we see that character in Southern California and in California tournaments in general. And you may be right that this is, Tengu Stone probably the most juggle potential in the game, right? Strongest stuff for that. But Rose V Trigger is not that far away when it comes to that kind of stuff. Maybe not juggle per se, but in terms of combo routes and creativity that you can do with that, turning ranged options into pressure options right away, that's very strong for that stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, any sort of system or mechanic that allows you to do custom combos is automatically a plus in my book. Only when I'm watching, not when I'm on the receiving end. There's a very big difference. If you get custom combos, I want them to be taken away from you. If I'm watching you, fire away. Have some fun with that. But yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Historically speaking, those have been really tough to balance. So I like the state of this option that she has. I think it's in a really good position. It's strong. They gave it some buffs, obviously, the last patch, and I really like where it is. You can't, as the defender, ignore it, which is kind of how you could before. You just take the throw and it ends, but no longer that way, and that allows for interesting pressure, interesting setups, corner carry if nothing else, setups that are trying to bait V reversals out of you. It's great options for blowing up V shift as well. So she's got a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, which is crazy because again, when these characters came out, they were functioning. They just weren't a threat. And then obviously in the final patch of the game, they became threats in their own right. Like you said, David, before, just to reiterate, I saw more of Oro than Rose. We did have Roses, but I think the Rose players didn't want to commit to certain things only because of the time duration that was left on the game. Oro, because there's endless possibilities, you were basically on the game every day. It was never fully complete. Heck, Broski and Brian F, and probably even Prophet as well, maybe some of the Japanese Oro players, they're still theorizing and thinking up stuff right now in the closing days of Street Fighter 5 before we move over to 6. So who knows? We could still be surprised by one 800 damage Tengu Stone combo that no one knows about. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see when Oro players get that big damage stuff happening. When they pop Tengu Stone and then hop on over into the EX chicken legs into like 600 damage or whatever it may be, that is always a blast to watch.
It is indeed. Right, we are still getting word on waiting for our upcoming match with Gen 1 Evie and Kill Mr. Puppy again. These guys, if I double check, Kill Mr. Puppy, he didn't do too hot last time he was here. I think he went 0-2, but they were close sets. And then Gen 1 Evie, he finished one position higher. So these guys, again, they're already going up against each other in the first round. So they're going to be looking to improve on that because they couldn't get what they wanted before, which is going to be interesting to see. But again, with these guys that consistently enter these fight night brackets, they're always mixing and matching against each other in the final 8 and then really improving, understanding each other's play style. And I like it because you can take any, you can get any tournament experience you get before the next game because look, we saw it with the CPT trailer at the end of the Capcom Cup. There's going to be over 2 million in the prize pool. I think everyone wants a piece of the pie there, David.
Sure. And this is a great way to get involved. We talk about it every time, but compete.playstation.com is a really, really good way to get into the scene in that kind of way. If you get up into the top 4, you get a payout here. But regardless, more, and maybe more importantly, even for those players, you get great experience that can be really helpful for becoming one of the best players in the world and having a chance at that $1 million first prize. Just quite a sentence to say still. But yeah, there of course is going to be a lot of stuff coming up in the next season of the CPT, and yeah, again, this is a really really good way to get involved in the community and in competitive play.
Yeah, so do not forget, we're going to be advertising it throughout this broadcast as well. So do not forget, because I know there's guys here who consistently do it, and maybe it can change your tournament career. So let me just double check. So yeah, we do have, if I refresh the bracket here, Shadow Ace will be awaiting the opponent of this next match here as we get these guys sorted. Kaifan will be going up against El Chacote, so that's probably going to be Mika versus Sakura, I think it was. I can't quite remember. And then Flux Waves will be going up against El Gavilan, 181. I actually unfamiliar with El Gavilan, so Flux will probably be playing
Gavilan,
Poison on
probably.
Mika, but it's going to be cool to see regardless as we progress through the bracket tonight.
Yeah, good character variety as we're accustomed to seeing in Street Fighter V. That's something that we saw even in the Capcom Cup, even when people are incentivized as much as possible, literally incentivized, to play the best character in the game. He showed up, got the big prize after all, but other than that, there were only about 3 in the top 16 who played Luke, and other than that, we had I think something like 17 different characters played in the group stages by the players who made it into that top 16. It's just a sign of the fact that, yeah, we're accustomed to seeing great character variety. Sometimes when you do see doubles, or at least potential double characters, as tonight, that could be Mika, which nobody thinks is, the best character in the game, and that's a fun thing to see.
I think depending on who you ask, I know actually some of the players raised this in the practice room when we were playing at the finals in the Sheraton Hotel.
Mhm.
I think some people said Mika kind of went under the radar in some regards. Yes, not a Luke, not a Poison, not a
Yeah,
Dalsim, not like a Chun-Li, not an Ed, but she still had that role to play in bracket, terrorizing you, frightening you. You want
yeah,
to avoid every Mika player under the sun. And again, she's done her toll. She's paid her services, and regardless, she can still do that as a threat, even in this bracket here today. And it's going to be interesting to see how things just transition over to the next game, because, like you said, the character diversity we get almost everywhere now. I think in the past year, I don't think we've had more than probably 4 in a top 8 bracket of the same character. But
yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see how that transition over to Street Fighter 6, because we're going to have 18 characters on the roster instead of 16, like
Yeah.
SF6, SF5 came out with. And it's going to be easy for us to learn because there's not 45. We can actually get around to learning things a bit quicker.
That's true. That's true, and it's made by the same team that made Endgame SF5, and
Yes.
I have a lot of faith in that team. I think well-deserved faith in that team. So we are excited to see that, of course. But again, as we said earlier, SF5 is still very much alive for now. We're all playing the game, having a good time. We're going to be moving on to our next match, which will be El Chacote versus Kaifan 2106. So
Right.
we'll head on over. So Kaifan from the Yucatan Peninsula, married up specifically, 34 years old, continuing our most of a streak of folks in my decade of life. I'm happy to see that. I think in our next one here, Chapote, we are going to pop down into the previous one. Yep, there we go. El Chacote, Mika, of course.
Yeah, he's in my age tier range of the 20s, late 20s, coming through. Hailing
Yeah.
from Michigan. And again, we were actually looking at another stat regarding El Chacote not too long ago, which he's been super consistent. He missed the LCQ, unfortunately, because I don't think he met his goal to get there, or something else came up personally.
Okay.
But it's still good to see that he's consistently playing. And of course, there's still stuff to be done. Make sure you check out his stream as well. He's actually quite a regular streamer. He's been building up his audience and his fan base over the past couple months. So kudos to El Chacote for really putting in the work in terms of content creation. Got to respect it.
Good guy, funny guy. Told me back in DreamHack 2019 that he had, quote, grown up watching me commentate. So that was cool. Great way to make me feel like everything's great and that I'm not too old or anything already.
Damn.
Thanks, bud. But
He's
as a result, I always root for him. I think that's pretty cool, to be honest. And here in this one, we're going to see the characters we expect, Mika and Sakura.
Yes. So Sakura, a character that's overshadowed by Karen, Luke, Akira, anyone with stronger fundamentals, you name it. It was unfortunate what happened because Sakura's still got some solid traits. It's just that there's more firepower for an easier time in Street Fighter 5.
But aside from comparing her with other characters, she's still an effective one on her own. If you are a Sakura fan, if you want to make her work, you can still make that happen. And here we have Kaifan in the corner, pressuring with that walk speed.
Right, there we go. Gets the activation. Too far to get the light giant Rainbow Typhoon there, unfortunately. But okay, good block. What a read. He can get a jump punish there, but he went for the crush counter combo instead. Kaifan's going to have to take the guess here. Yeah, guess is wrong. Because he spent his bar on the reversal before and guessed incorrectly, he was forced to take that guess and lose that round ultimately. Good stuff there from Chapote with the situational awareness.
Super fast read that I think he made based on Kaifan pressing a button in a situation where most people would not have. Immediately before that, Chapote really, really fast on the uptake when it comes to that kind of stuff.
All right, good footsies and a jump as well. He's got to be careful about how you approach El Chapote in general because Mika does have the anti-air, does have the damage output, and gonna guess wrong one more time. That's gonna be stun. Yeah.
This is already almost death. Into
behind.
regular grab even is going to be enough.
There we go. The frame trap from the stand light punch into the stand medium punch. So yeah, I think the biggest problem here for Kaifan is he doesn't know when to press the button, or when he makes that guess, he hasn't guessed correctly at all, David. And when that happens in your first game and the first two against Mika, you really are down in the dumps there mentally.
It was a tough situation, and Chapote did a great job at keeping his pressure light at the end. He didn't overcommit with buttons that are guaranteed V reversals, for example. He was just very safe about it, and Kaifan unfortunately was stuck. So we're going to have to see something else here in terms of him getting in. Tries to sweep. Chapote happens to be over it with the charge roundhouse, and now already we're back to where Chapote wants to be.
Oh, doesn't know that's the meaty crouch medium punch. And he goes for a V shift. He should have gone for the break for the commitment there, but he's going to be stunned. And is he going to guess wrong again? He stayed in front. Oh, wow. He was sitting there like an egg. Oh, no.
But even there, Chapote took the risk. How about that as he goes up to match point with a perfect.
All right, looking good here. He's actually making this in swift time, going for a new world record here. Couldn't get the dash, unfortunately. Did Kaifan. Oh, nice check. And that is a lot of people check with their lights, but because Mika's got a 5-frame medium, checking dashes with that is actually pretty viable, I gotta say.
Yeah, and it's got a great range considering it's been good as well. Here we go. Chapote's got the corner.
Okay, good damage. And then the cross up.
Yeah, it's gonna be me. Yeah, I knew. All right.
Oi, not dead. I think she's just about alive because that was a target combo. I can't remember. She got 950 health. I think she does. Yeah, just about alive. Guess wrong, you're done.
Oh, was willing to yet again take the risk. If that had been blocked, that could have been half of Mika's life, of that remaining life bar gone into Oki, but nothing like that. It was a great read by Chapote yet again, and he will scoot by into the next round.
Yeah, he was just pretty much overwhelmed by what El Chapote was putting on the table there, Kaifan, which is unfortunate. And like I said before, when you have those rounds, we call them Mika rounds. That's the layman terms for it. And when a Mika round happens, you really are down in the dumps and you have to be not deterred. Shake it off so you can get on board and try and get back into the fight. But for a Mika player, I mean, your pain is their power. That should just be put on a shirt for those guys. If you're in pain, it's their power and they can run with that because she is one of the best momentum-based characters in Street Fighter 5.
I think that's right. Yeah, she's definitely, as we were talking about earlier, still has a big role to play in the game. Nobody will tell you that she's the best, but I hope nobody thinks that she's bad either. She's definitely still legit. So, okay, remaining in our first round, again, we had moved past Kill Mr. Poppy and Gen 1 Evie. We also have Flux Waves versus El Gavilan 181. We'll see where we're about to head. So we are indeed going to go over to Flux Waves versus El Gavilan as our next match. So for Flux Waves, couple of characters in the tank. He could go a couple of different ways here. We'll see what his choice is going to be.
Yeah, we're going to be loading up their player card right now. There you go. Same age as me, or similar age, I should say. I'm going to be 29 next month at some point. But it's going to be the Poison main, like David said, or was alluding to. He's got multiple characters under his belt. He's got the Manat, he's got the Mika. I can't remember if he's still got Abigail. Not that Abigail's really relevant now, but he's got a nice trifecta of characters here, which you're going to be seeing. Hailing from Montreal, always representing he actually had a very... So who qualified from his region? Joe Umarogan won it. Flux actually was very close to qualifying for the cup. I think he came third in the regional final. There was a lot of guys that were pretty close to qualifying for the cup, David, that couldn't go to the LCQ. So when I was looking at the World Warrior stuff, I was pretty surprised at how consistent a lot of these guys were in these regions around the world. So it's really good to see.
I hear that. Opponent for Flux Waves going to be, again, El Gavilan. Ed Diablo is what we're going to say his name is. Nice work. 35 as well. And I am hoping that it is, in fact, Dan that will be the character here. This is a strong character. Yeah, I actually talked about him with quite a few of the Capcom Cup qualifiers just as we were hanging out last week. I don't remember how it came up exactly, but quite a few of the players, especially those from Europe, from France, were really talking up Dan. Of course, they have a strong player there who's doing a lot of work lately, Akainu, with that character. But yeah, just in general, very unique pressure in the context of Street Fighter V. Great movement speed, but really what you think of when you think of Dan is just the fact that his pressure is so difficult to escape from, difficult to know when it's your turn, when it should be your turn, both because of turn stealing from frame data, but also spacing traps are really strong with this character. He can put himself at plus frames from ranges that are a little bit further out than you may expect as well, and all that stuff is just kind of tough to deal with.
Yeah, and that's all courtesy of the taunt cancel stuff with V-Skill too, because obviously you're talking about the EU players, so the guys that come to mind are the guys from France, actually. So we have Akainu, shouts to Akainu. We got another guy who's much younger than Akainu called Marsky the Beast. They love the hell out of Dan. Even Valmaster was playing a bit of Dan as well, actually, at some point.
He's who I was talking to about.
There you go. He loves him. And it's because it's the execution based, and normals that would on the surface seem, quote unquote, pointless. They're actually not pointless with that V-Skill too. You get crush counters, forces a V reversal or V shift, and you really don't want to be dealing with that. And because if El Diablo is going to be picking Dan here, that could be pretty problematic for Poison. Because Poison's neutral is exponentially better, she can actually afford the V reversal and the V shift, but it's due to the stubbornness of players that they don't want to give it up, if you know what I mean, David.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's the... As the player, you want to hold on to that red bar. That's the stuff that lets you go wild, right? You have a fun time with that. And even strategically, of course, it can be important. But I think that's very important to knowing how to play against Dan. That said, Dan also has ways to avoid that. It's not as easy to V-reversal some of his stuff. It's not like you could just see a heavy and get out of there, as you can with most other characters in the game. He could do taunt cancels to escape, and even, in fact, to evade a little bit. With some options. So he's really got some cool things up his sleeve. Again, if that's what we're going to see here.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if El Diablo, or should I say El Gavilan, has any other character under his belt because of this matchup, then it's a good idea to pull them out, because there are... it's probably the top five, whoever your top five is, where you really have to consider that secondary character, that pocket character, because... boy, when Dan has a bad time in neutral, you'll know about it. When he has a good time, he's probably in your face, or he's found another way, or maybe got a Hail Mary jump or something like that to really take the tides of the battle. So it's going to be a real question of, or it's going to be Dan's offense versus Poison's defense for the most part. That's going to be probably one of the main interactions for this matchup.
Sure, and although I'm with you that V-Skill 2 is the way to go as Dan, get those taunt cancels, that's really super important for him. At the same time, there are Dan players out there whose perspective is a little different, that V-Skill 1 is the way to go to, because you can do things like Dan kick into V-Skill 1 taunt follow-up. That's safe. That makes Dan kick safe. That makes a couple of his options very, very good for corner carry if you do find the hit. Good damage, even mid-screen in some ways that V-Skill 2 doesn't quite provide. So there is a different way to go here if you are struggling to get in. We'll see if that's his choice. Again, there's different ways you can go here.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of V-Skill choices, you can kind of do that with Poison as well. V-Skill 2 is probably... Well, V-Skill 2 is the go-to one, the cartwheel, because obviously when you get the knockdown, you're able to close the gap incredibly easily. But you can also... And Flux Waves was doing this a fair bit as well in previous tournaments. V-Skill 1, it is a huge knowledge check because it did get a lot of buffs, which ups Poison's damage output. It actually makes her damage output better than her V-Skill 2. It's just V-Skill 2 provides the Oki. But if you don't know how V-Skill 1 works, then It can bait your throws and get you a punish there. It can make EX Heart Raid one of the best, if not the best EX move in the game more threatening, especially on a hit, because you can get a conversion now. And then you can just like basically do mighty swing away until your opponent realizes they can just crouch and press any crouching button and avoid it. So it really can annoy your opponent if they don't know how to deal with it.
That is the big if right there, and I certainly got by that the first time that I saw it, for sure. You go into the lab and figure it out, of course, but yeah, that can be annoying if it's not something that you've come across before, of course.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So yeah, we are still getting set up here with these guys. So like we said, in the bracket, Shadow Ace and El Chacote in the winners semi-final. They are going to be awaiting their opponents, which we are trying to get them ready for you guys here. And this is what the bracket is looking like right now. So as we do that, I'm trying to remember, where did Shadow Ace finish last time? Shadow Ace finished third, losing to El Chacote. So he could get his run back in that, David. He lost 3-0. We'll probably bring up that stat if, this is hypothetically speaking now, but if they get that run back, I'll bring up that stat before. But it's going to be interesting to see, because like we said, the diverse roster is here. Results change all the time. So again, we could get something different here today.
As you said, we're just waiting for these players to try to load in here. We're playing online. Doesn't always work out as we would hope that it does. And we're playing at some significant distances in some of these cases as well. I'll sort of know what that situation is like. So I hope that you at home are bearing with us as we try to get into the match as soon as we can. In the meantime, you can see who we are expecting here. Kill Mr. Poppy versus Gen 1 Evie. Is something that we had tried to get before. Currently working on Flux Waves versus El Gavilan.
Yes, indeed. And do not forget, you can follow us on our handles. We're still commentating some SF5. We're preparing for SF6 as well, I promise you. We are preparing, but we still want to enjoy the closing moments of Street Fighter 5 because it's turned into a good game now. You can turn it on. The competition is still pretty much healthy. The diverse roster and just the flexibility that's in the game now. You can really have fun with it in comparison to the type of fun we could have 6 years ago. Wouldn't you agree, David?
I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm not preparing for Street Fighter 6. We were at Capcom Cup and had SF6 stations there. I didn't play them one time the entire week because I'm just focusing on Street Fighter 5 for now. That's all I care about. And in fact, I told the producer and director of Endgame Street Fighter 5 / Street Fighter 6 that although I'm excited for SF6 and I'm sure that I'll be grinding it big time once it comes out, until then, I am very happy to continue playing what has become my favorite Street Fighter game.
Hey, I like that. I respect that. It's definitely turned into a fantastic game. But yes, here is the fight card right now. Thank you very much for your patience. We are getting underway with the winners quarters with Flux Waves going up against El Gavilan. So it looks like it will be Poison versus Dan, a Season 4 character going up against a Season 5 character indeed. This is definitely tail of the tape because I think it was... What character was it after? I think it was after G when the characters really started going nuts with what they could do. Or was it Gil?
I would say personally it was when Poison Honda Lucia came out that I started thinking, oh, you guys are really letting it rip at this point. Oh, and so it is going to be Dan, but in fact it's not going to be a character who we're talking about, Poison. It's one of the other options that we do know. Of course, the Flux Waves got up his sleeves. It's going to be Minot.
Okay, I can think of a number of reasons here. Probably a safer V trigger because he can just block it out and rely on that if he gets the chance. I think his defensive options are actually weaker in regards to that. That's just me personally.
Sure,
those quote unquote
the
zoners.
Is going to be worse, right? I mean, you're going to using the V shift at all is a bummer as Minot.
Yeah,
we talked about how you don't want to use it in general, right? You'd rather hold on to it, but it's especially important for Minot. So some of those defensive tools are going to be a little tougher. And we do see trigger 2, V-skill 2 for Dan. So ideally, El Gavilan will get those cancels in to the pressure. We are seeing some here.
Yeah. I also think it's actually easier to fight Poison than it is Minot because it's kind of difficult to navigate or circumvent the crystal balls. So.
There is a similar kind of like half screen in front of her that's almost a no man's land for a character like Dan. He is doing a good job, though, of forcing Flux Waves slowly into the corner. Flux Waves backing up. He's going to be caught there if he tries anything else. No, instead he finds the key fierce to end up taking.
All right, so there was a lot of walking into buttons there, and you got to be careful. Yep, it's death by 1,000 cuts. It's just going to be straight pokes. And then looking for the jump, as I was talking about it, because the first round didn't work out. So he's going to take to the skies, see if he can work out there. But Crouch Fist does just under 100 damage. And Dan is a character with 975 vitality, so that adds up, man. That adds up.
Still adding up here. Oh, big chance. Yes. As soon as you connected with that roundhouse, it's time to party. He is trying. He was a little late on the fierce.
Ooh, okay, there you go. Yep, still trying to get that roundhouse to connect. I think he's going to have to spend bar. He's going to do EX stand kick. He has to, but he's not going to try it.
It's a little bit further than where it would work nicely. Oh, needed to punish that. That was the round right there. Honestly, if that had been a punish, maybe a throw back into the corner, for example, but minimum a punish into Oki, maybe a different story. But as soon as Flux Waves was able to feel comfortable back to mid-screen, even if that had not been to combo, even if that had not been to punish, still very bad situation for El Gavilan.
Yeah, simple cat and mouse game that's being played here, and the mouse is running away successfully in Flux Waves Manat. It doesn't look like we're going to get past gear 1 here. I did hit a character select screen, so unless he's going to change these skills, we're going to see a complete change in character here, I'm going to assume. I mean, I could be wrong, so...
I would like to see V-Trigger 1. I think that's the way to go, personally, in matches where you need to try to scoot your way in. You can activate it from further away, and it's just a big projectile. If you don't hold it right, it's not going to do a ton of damage, but even if you don't, you still have that kind of like force field that you can move behind or with or right in front of. Can be effective for that kind of stuff. It's only 1 bar, so you get it all the time. Personally, I feel like if you need to make your way in, as far as V-Triggers go, that's the option, but we'll see.
Yeah, I can't remember if Manat can actually reflect it, because it is a trigger, and she can reflect Ed's V-Trigger 1, right? So I'm going to imagine she can do the same thing.
It's not a matchup I've played before, but that does make sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna imagine she can do the exact same thing you hear. Well, I mean, like, Dan running at you is completely different to Ed running at you when the giant projectile's on screen, so take that how you will, because there's going to be different options there. But Flux, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's going to stick with plan A. That's what was bringing him the dub in that first game. But can he do it? Can he get that repeat effect here against El Gavilan's Dan?
Seeing a very similar start from El Gavilan. Oh man, interrupted right away.
Oh.
There are things Dan can do about that, but as the Dan player, you just got to make the read on what you're expecting the opponent to do, of course.
Yeah, okay, gets hit with the EX Soul Spark. That's going to be the stun here. He's going to go for a post-stun combo, which is looking good. Yeah, Soul Spark again into Garden of the Sun. And it's just going to be pokes from here. And he threw out a Dan kick finally.
Oh, no cancel into trigger could have been big. Another one of those key moments, and now he cannot afford any hit.
Yeah, he knows, and he can't jump either. He's not going to build the bar. Okay, he pressed the button.
It was just safety first by Flux Waves. He wasn't committing to any heavy buttons that would have made it difficult to anti-air. He was very light about it.
There we go, and that's it, man. That takes a lot of discipline and skill to just not commit to that heavy button, because it's very tempting to use, as I'm sure you know, David. It has the range. It does damage as a poke or a heavy poke. Again, look, it's paying dividends right now.
Here we go. Earliest that we've seen it. No, missed the cancel. And when you do, you are in counter hit state. You are in trouble.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because even that adds up, because you get that extra damage there, but he gets the direct again. It's going to be big damage here. Can he get a couple of throws? He needs a couple of throws here.
This is the first real series. Flux Waves was willing to give him the grab, and El Gavilan didn't take it.
He can't jump now. Oh, he got a hard kick.
Oh, no. There's going to be super, at least think about it here if you're Flux Waves.
Oh, that's it.
There you go. Flux Waves, very strong play. Just held on to that mid-screen almost the entire time. Cornered only once, and his defense was excellent when he was cornered. He was willing to take a grab or two. Makes sense under a circumstance like that. Of course, that's going to be much less damage to you than a full Dan series. And so he just played it safely. Unfortunately for El Gavilan, that one chance was really all that he got, and just didn't quite get enough out of it.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I think judging by eye, at least from the surface, what I could see there, I think it's a safe deduction would be El Gavilan is definitely deterred by the first interaction that doesn't work. So if he gets hit by a couple of pokes, he won't be stubborn. He'll just go, okay, this isn't working. I've got to try something else. But I think he weighs the options as he's in the neutral and goes, yeah, this isn't working because he's anti-ed me. He stopped my dashes. He even, he blocked the hard kick several times. He just wasn't aggressive enough. I really felt when he had the one bar, just throw out the EX down kick just to get in. And even if you are in a negative situation, it puts you in an uncomfortable situation. Or at least it does with Flux, because it happens with Seth's V skill too as well. Despite that being negative, they're still close for you to try and challenge and take a turn back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'm agree with you on all points. And so as a result, it's going to be Fluxwaves who moves on. That means that Fluxwaves will play against El Chapote in the next round. We're going to take a look at that right now. Moves right on through. And you can see one of the matches that we'll have in loser's side, El Gavilan versus Kaifan, will take place. We're still undecided on the other one, though, as Kill Mr. Poppy has moved on past Gen 1 Evie, thanks to things just not working out for Gen 1 Evie, unfortunately. But we're not gonna hold on to that one forever. We can't do that, of course. We have a tournament to run here, and so we're gonna move ahead with Shadow Ace 50 versus Kill Mr. Poppy.
Unfortunate for Gen 1 Evie there. Couldn't get to see the Oro gameplay. He won't be able to change his results, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, as we set up this next match here, I just want to give a quick shout out to Flux, because he got an improvement from last event, because last time within Fight Nights, he went 0-2, which is very rare for him. So he's moving on and getting a better result here. But yeah, we definitely got to talk about this next match here. Shadow Ace, Kill Mr. Puppy. Did these guys play before? I don't think so. Rose versus Ed. Is that right? Yeah, Rose versus Ed, I think it is.
That's what we expect, yep.
Oh, what am I thinking here? V-Skill 2 for Rose. Trigger 1 could help with the Soul Dimension teleports. Because of how Shadow Ace plays, it might work out, but then you got to worry about EX Psycho Upper. Shadow Ace is never going to change his layout. At least as far as I'm aware. So it works for him. It's tried and true. Yeah, I think it's definitely all eyes on Kill Mr. Puppy here with his V system laid up. Maybe even he can be a bit more aggressive with a couple of heavy kicks, David. I'm not too sure.
Would you expect then for Shadow Ace to stick with V-Skill 1 in this matchup? I think I would just expect, based on general character knowledge, that V-Skill 2 would be the choice, but
V-Skill 2 is definitely the more logical pick. I just think for me watching Shadow Ace, I could be wrong, because if he picks V-Skill 2, I'll just shut my mouth. I think he's one of those players for me that's just personal preference, because that loadout has done so much for him, and that's something he's worked with, and it's kind of like integrated into his gameplay pretty much. So he's just going to stick by it. Even in matchups where like myself and you will just watch, and it's like, yo, the swing here would do you wonders. But I think he just feels better blocking a projectile, or, even just charging, clashing with it with the V-Skill 1. Because I think in very weird scenarios, the V-Skill 1 can clash the fireball and drag you in because it's got extended range.
Right.
Or maybe he just hasn't done enough homework on the V-Skill 2. But maybe doesn't like it. I don't know.
I mean, I do like V-Skill 1. I think it's really cool. I think there's matchups where it's very strong, but in any matchup, it's just part of a big tool set that Ed has when he's at about Footsie's range. You got to be thinking about, Charge Fierce and Fireball and Fake Fierce and Roundhouse and V-Skill 1 if he's got it, and Flicker, of course, and just a lot of things to think about if you're the opponent playing against an Ed who has all of that stuff. So we'll see if he does go for that, see if he makes that work. And we're still looking for this Rose here for Kill Mr. Poppy.
Yes, indeed. So he's going to be a little bit cold, because obviously his first opponent unfortunately couldn't join us here, but what a first game to wake you up here in the winners semi-final. I'll be very curious to see as well. Shadow Ace, very elusive, and he had a pretty hectic game in the first one here. So yes, V-Skill 2, V-Trigger 1, and it looks like Shadow Ace is going to stick with the first loadout. So my predictions were correct in that regard, at least in terms
of... Good
intel.
Nice work.
Yeah. It's only just thinking about at the top of my head how these two would want to play it, as opposed to how we'd probably want to see it, David, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah. I mean, everybody's got their own ideas on what they like. Everybody's got ideas on what they prefer, what they find fun. When I played Dawson, I like V-Skill 2, man. Is it better? Probably not, but it's super sick. So I get it.
All right, so I like this color with Rose, actually. I think this is one of the DLC colors, actually, for the CPT pack. Good choice.
So there was that V-Skill 1 coming into play right away, the hold version. again, just part of the big tool set.
There you go.
Wow, that was thick right there.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The V skill 1 can absorb it, and he gets to pull you in. That's probably what I'm thinking of. And he gets the throw.
Grabbable EX right there, unfortunately for Rose, but she does have trigger going. Great no quick rise by Shadow Ace, safety stuff.
He activates, and it looks like, yeah, Mr. Pop, he's going to have to hold that because you activate your trigger immediately. And Shadow Ace, he does know a little bit of this matchup because you need to do delay rise every so often against Rose to just trick her into exhausting a teleport. That's good stuff. Slides under,
nice
too far.
There by Mr. Poppy. Thought he believed in it. Right back to the well on EX.
Dude, that's so hard by eye to tell if that's like at the maximum frame advantage for the crouch medium punch, but I respect the effort though. Chasing him down.
It's a quite movement-heavy offensive Rose, in fact. Just cool to watch. Oftentimes you'll see Roses be very safe, and that is not really the name of the game so far. She's got a great setup so she can play offense regardless, but this is a lot of movement, more than I expect.
All right, gets the slide activate. He's probably looking for crouch roundhouse to crush counter so he can get it. Whiffs the back hard kick, but Shadow Ace isn't ready. He can put out a soul punish to reduce the durability of that V trigger, but the back throw will help. That's fine. That is completely fine. Wow.
Ooh, bravery. Wow, Kill Mr. Poppy's looking great.
Oh, he might be able to kill here. Oh no. Okay. Well. Anyway. Okay. I don't think I've seen that conversion before, but I think I might dabble with that afterwards, actually. That was pretty interesting conversion.
Yeah, it was cool. Oh, keep it up. Yeah, nice.
That's one of the changes she got as well. And then a V reversal there from Shadow Ace. Punish. Oh, well.
Uncomfortable spot right there for Shadow Ace.
I think if you can find that sweet spot to make, to still be punished, but like no special will connect, I think that might work out in Kill Me Mr. Poppy's favor.
Punish? Nice. I love Kill Mr. Poppy's Rose. He's moving in, and you can tell Shadow Ace did not at all expect that forward movement.
Rose wins.
Yeah, that's pretty strong first start there.
Interesting style. Yeah, I love it. I think it was great. I'm sure we can see Shadow Ace make some adaptations to how he plays, including like expecting more forward movement. But I certainly understand playing against the Rose and not expecting what we saw from Kill Mr. Poppy in the first game. Now the question is, what does Shadow Ace do about it?
Well, he's going to stick with his tactics here. I do agree with you in the regard of a V-Skill 2 should have been introduced here because it would alleviate a lot of the problems. And yeah, if he can just space Soul Spiral at those ranges where he can just be punished by stand medium kick, but no special cancels, normals at all, that's going to be a big for Kill Mr. Poppy. Oh, not sure about that jump there, but Soul Punish. He's in there.
First time, and it does work. Shadow Ace. Oh, here we go. Gosh, unfortunately.
Okay, jumping, and can he get a conversion here? He's going to activate the trigger. No, he's going to do it now, though. Oh, didn't even need to. That crouching short.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh, air fireball. Right, he's been using these very interestingly. I think he can set up a fireball trap with the air fireball, but I think he needs to use the medium version to get to jump forward so he can anti-air with the scarf. Oh.
Great reaction. Oh, a little bit too far. And again, missed the dash. You can see the jab after, unfortunately, for Shadow Ace, but nothing.
Rush counter. There you go. It's working out. And I think he's really testing. What a cross-up.
Cross-up setup.
That was definitely planned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, he could have killed. Oh.
Yeah. You're right.
No, that was unfortunate. Right, jumps away there. That situation there, he can get him to do just the scarf. He doesn't have to. I know he's trying to go for style over substance here, but. Oh,
nice chase into nothing though.
No anti-air crouch fierce. This is big, and that's going to be the game. I think that's the game.
I think you're right. And Shadow Ace has got to be really happy about that. Obviously, you want to win the game, but that was the game in which not everything went according to plan, I think I could charitably say. And yet he came out on top with it. And that's always a great feeling when that happens. It's something to build on for the next game.
Yeah. The thing is, Shadow Ace, I don't think he got any utilization out of his V-trigger at all. And Kill Mr. Poppy, he actually got a couple of situations to either get a beneficial situation from a Soulbind, the Scarf anti-air knockdown, but he didn't convert. He wanted the bigger combo to get the jump medium punch juggle into the Soulbind then, but it's just a slight miscalculation in spacing. But Shadow Ace takes advantage of that, you know, and it's one apiece again.
Mm-hmm.
Cross counter. Wow, he's had a lot of cross counters today. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm curious where Shadow Ace was blocking for that. But it all works out for him in the end. He's got the corner. Buttons from Kill Mr. Poppy. We have seen that a lot. Oh, no!
Oh,
Yeah,
now,
very active, and Shadow Ace is blowing that up right now.
yeah, and he's dead. Oh, he should have spent the bar, being a bit greedy, but he saved his meat in that regard. I was just about to say, because the crouching medium kick didn't combo after the stand medium punch in the situation in the corner, he got a full combo there, but maybe even he might have had misjudgment on his damage output, or damage calculations, I should say. Oh, he could have whiff punished, man. Yeah.
Here we go. Shadow Ace is making some great reads on the way forward.
Jumping. There you go. Yeah, they're both
reactive. Yeah, looking strong. Punish Shirley. Oh, there's something.
Right, back throw. Throw again. You can throw one more time. He's too close, or too far, I should say. He hasn't really been. Yeah, we've really been seeing flicker pressure from him.
Getting the button.
That's not going to be dead.
No, but maybe a grab away. Yeah, it'll be grabs away, and that means it's dangerous to kill Mr. Poppy here.
Oh, I thought he was going to see that, to be honest with you, but he didn't. Teleport, and he did not get hit. So that means there's no utilization of that V-trigger. It's completely done, David.
That always wants his own.
Oh, that's going to be a throw. It has to be. Oh, no.
That works too. So Shadow Ace in that game right there, that he ends up winning to take it 2-1. I think he did make a lot of the changes that I felt make sense. He was very patient in certain ranges where previously Kill Mr. Poppy was active and getting some stray hits. He was reactive. He did jump short, for example, to counter the jump into air fireball multiple times on his way forward, prioritize grabs up close. He noticed that Kill Mr. Poppy was very active, very buttonsy to try to get out of situations, and took advantage of that multiple times. So very, very nice adaptation by Shadow Ace to end up winning.
Yeah, I think one thing I really like about Shadow Ace's gameplay, one thing I definitely got to commend is the fact that he has worked with, I'm going to reiterate this point, he's worked with V-Trigger 1, V-Skill 1 for so long. I think he just knows the answers within that system, as if he was still limited. Before V-Skill 1 and, V-Skill 2 and V-Trigger 2 were introduced, he said, you know what?
Yeah.
This is the bread and butter. I know what to do and work around it if I have to. Again, still got some fantastic movement, ones that it's kind of difficult for his opponents to consistently read, because I know a problem that players had with Ed was when he did Psycho Knuckle, you would jump forward instead of jump back to get punished, and when he did his V-Skill 1, you jump backwards instead of jump forwards. So it gets a bit confusing as to when and where to jump, but the fact is you've jumped to avoid it could be an issue, or just be the bit of the problem. And then Kill Mr. Puppy, again, I hit the ground running, fine start. I think it was just miscalculation in damage, and then I think a bit too predictable with Soul Spiral, the EX version, because like you said, it is throwable. So that was unfortunate there.
So, okay, Kill Mr. Poppy goes down the loser side. That's Shadow Ace moving into winners finals. And we're going to go down to the other match on winners side. This will be El Chapote versus Flux Waves.
Ooh,
so Mika
okay.
Shirley for Chapote. Previously, it was Minot for Flux Waves. How do you feel about potential matchup choices here for Flux Waves?
Poison is the better pick. He could do the Mika Mirror. I really think you should avoid using Manat here, but obviously he's the Manat specialist. I'm not. I do think, from a Poison perspective, Mika is probably one of her worst matchups, because once she gets in, what are you really going to do about it? And obviously with V-Shift integrated into the game, yeah, there you go. And he's going to pick V-Skill 1. So this is good because V-Skill 1 counters Mika's V-Skill 1. So she does it in neutral arbitrarily. You can actually perfume swing in, and she's got to basically get hit by the V-Skill, and then you get the juggle from the jump roundhouse. Or she just has to block it and she takes the mix-up up close. So we'll see if that actually happens, but going to be dealing with the aerial game and just crouch media punch and the drop kicks. It's going to be a big deal. He didn't do it there, so...
The movement that we're seeing from El Chapote, I think, is great. Yeah, excellent jump timing. But even before that, the back and forth, I really love seeing it. That said, Flux Waves, great evasion. He's out right back to mid-screen. Foot on the line even, like exactly where you want to be. Very far away from the corner.
Okay, back to the heart rates, and here comes the trigger, and it's going to be a delayed reset here. Is he going to... No, he's going to go straight to the corner. Good choice. Excellent choice there from El Chapote.
Oh, nice. He didn't give up on it, even though the V-shift came previously. He believed in the read.
All right, again. No backdash. Good interruption.
Yeah? Bravery.
Oh, he's dead. That's dead, yeah. Done.
Wow. Okay. So very interesting decisions on both sides. Defensively, key, but also, how does El Chapote get in? We saw a couple of times how he managed to get in. That's good to see.
There you go. Go for the air to air, but he did a jump back instead of jump forward there. Air to air is probably the most consistent answer. Oh, crush counter there for El Chapote. Put him in the corner. I don't think a V-shift's a good call here. Yeah, he's got to interrupt, and he does. He steals out of there. Throw. Watch out for the wake up Nadeshko. No, good backdash there from Chapote. And that might be stun. That could be stun.
That might be it. No!
I think, did he do the wrong thing? I'm not sure.
Sure, man. You're the guy for that.
I'm trying to think now. Oh, he's trying to catch with his throw there. Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
Absolutely.
So this is what I was talking about before, right? So when your opponent really doesn't know, if they try to throw it, it would have got a punish. But then once they do commit there and sit like firmly on the ground, you can just throw them. And because the grade damage racked up, it made that throw do even more damage there. So really good strategy. Mika can do EX wingless airplane because it did get its anti-air properties buffed. So if Chapote is ready, he can catch him in that regard. We'll see. Oh, what a jump
in timing. Perfect stuff.
There's a throw. Right now, I bet you El Chapote is completely perplexed by that V-skill 1. Grab. There it is.
Knocking on the door yet again. Close to coast, by the way.
It worked out. Oh, did he try and stand hard punch the whip? You can do that. It's easier to do. It's still difficult. Watch out for the jump. Yeah, he read it as well. He thought a jump was coming. That's why he went for the heavy heart rate.
Big read on the way in. Chapote is here. Red bar on Flux Wave's side. He uses it.
And another V-shift. That should be dead, David.
Yeah, with that V-skill conversion right there it is. And it's match point for Flux Waves to get into Winner's Slam.
Wow. Cannot get the read on Flux Wave's defense right now, but this is it. Mind of a Mika player, no matter what character they pick, they'll be able to understand your tendencies. And another V-shift in the corner. Stun.
Oh, maybe the reads are coming. No, he wanted to wait for stun here to maybe get the kill on this with super. No, it's not going to be
choice.
that.
I like this, using the new buff. And he got it. He made the button whiff, and he just about got the grab to connect, get that perfect KO, and still try and keep him or give him a lifeline in this round, David.
That's what happens when the mix-ups work out. And I wonder how that'll impact, if they come up again, whether Flux Wave can make different decisions. But yeah, it just blocked it out here, just in case of that charge, that drop kick. It's pressure again in the corner. V-shift, V-reversal. It was there.
Good call, David.
Wake up, super!
I respect it. He needed to breathe room. He needed to get out of there and reduce that stun gauge. But this is the thing. How are you going to come back from this when Mika's got trigger? This is a tall order. Yeah, he's looking for the jump. Get the throw.
Yes. Chapote. Beautiful work.
Now, this should put you in range to get killed by any command grab. Yeah, guess the game.
Anything, yeah. Even regular grab for the safe option just in case of V-shift. And there's Chapote with a great comeback in those last 2 rounds.
Well, what a turnaround there. And like, David, I think you can kind of see it as it unfolds in the matchup. How much Poison has to squirm around in the corner just to get some breathing room or get out, right? Roundhouse is coming out, which is actually a pretty good defensive button for Poison. The jabs, the unsuccessful V-shifts, I should say. You really don't want to stay there and deal with that because it is diabolical for Poison.
Plastic Zoner versus Mika matchup.
Nice read.
Great read right there. A little bit of pressure, no big deal. Back off. Patience from Flux Waves. Beautiful.
Double dash in, good back dash from El Chapote as well. There you go. He actually introduced the jabs.
He's wanted those jabs as a counter. Of course, you see the risk of it that it can get crushed.
He's running away right now. Yep. Heavy heart rate doing the work, and that's what it is. He might have to look for another one very soon. And the jab interruption. Watch out for the... Ooh!
Maybe a bit of an overcommit. The other idea is the dashing in, the jumping in. You just got to do it as Mika sometimes. But that one right there was maybe a little bit too far ahead. Wow. Never mind. It works out great.
Okay. Do you know what I think wasn't spoken about enough? It was shooting Peach being used as a footsie tool.
Yeah.
It can be used as a footsie tool in some regard. It doesn't look pretty,
no.
but it works.
I mean, I love seeing that when it gets the exact max range. Pretty cool, actually.
but you
Again,
got
V-shift, not dissuaded at all. And because of
Wow.
that, good damage all the way to the corner, or out of the corner, I should say.
Okay,
Again!
bait him. Watch out for the V-trigger. Watch out for the V-trigger. Oh, he didn't even do it.
It's done, and Flux Waves will end up taking it. The bravery he had right there, rather than expecting something like Chapote to escape. No, he was absolutely correct about what his opponent was going to do. Most of that was not about offense from Poison. There were some moments, of course, like with the Heart Raid, but for the most part, it wasn't. And when he needed it, though, he did have the offensive mix-ups.
Well, it just shows you how much of a threat Poison is, because obviously I was highlighting how much V-Skill 1 can really be a problem for you, but it's what revolves around it. The throw, the pressure, that's what really gets to the opponent, which allows V-Skill 1 to just basically do whatever it wants and play by its own rules. And again, I think you saw in that last couple of seconds there, we did see El Chacote. He did bite. But he tried to throw at some point. He got hit, had to take the punish, and it was just a steamroll of throws from there, which is unfortunate. So still a lack of knowledge. Maybe he just forgot about the V-Skill 1 and how it functions. But it does work. It has some practicality in the match, but it also has some gimmicks that work universally as well. So well played to Flux. Honestly, well played.
It just that then he got the wrong end of the mix-ups when she was up close. Maybe he just thought that it was going to be V-Skill at the end right there rather than grab, right? Just even if you know what's up, you don't get all the reads right. Not all the time, at least. But Flux Waves got enough of them right to be the one who moves on. So we know that winners finals will be him versus Shadow Ace.
Yeah, that is what the bracket is looking like right now, how things have transpired. Obviously, unfortunate for Gen 1 Evie. He couldn't join us today. Hope everything is okay and he can join us for the next one. But things will be moving along swiftly in the lower bracket. But as we are setting up for the upper final, the winners final there with Shadow Ace and Flux Wave, this is going to be, it is not a run back from the last one. It might be a run back for 2 or 3 fight nights ago. So this is going to be exciting to see regardless. Cannot wait for that one.
But before, we just want to promote, as we always do, you get involved with compete.playstation.com. We've often mentioned this is a great way to get involved with competitive play, to sort of step your toe in that water. It's a big, deep ocean, but one way to get involved in the first place is to try it out here with compete.playstation.com. In addition to that, there's great media that they have on there, good resources to help learn how to play as well. Highly recommend that you check it out and get involved at compete.playstation.com.
Indeed it is. So if I am not mistaken, and I don't make the broadcasting team unhappy, we should be going for a break. But when we come back, there's going to be more action here for the 1v1 fights for the North American region for Street Fighter 5. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. All right, and welcome back to the Fight Nights for Street Fighter 5 here on twitch.tv/PlayStation. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the action just as much as myself, Jammers, and David calling the action here for you guys. We're going to be continuing on with today's bracket, but before I do that, got to do my job. On that CTA, baby, there is a community Discord for the PlayStation tournaments that you guys can join. You can join it for the community Discord to find regular updates on the events, articles, videos, and meet up with other players to improve your game. There's a QR code there, and there is a link. Do join it because we are in a transition for the next generation of fighting games, and Street Fighter is one of those franchises in this. So please, if you are, running around Discord causing trouble or communicate with your friends that way, make sure you join this Discord to find out more information on all the PlayStation tournaments that are coming up and more things in general, and get involved with the community. It's going to be great to see. But David, who have we got up next for the matches?
Yeah, again, as we saw before, making their way into the winners finals are Shadow Ace and Flux Waves. You can see right there, 2-1 victories both times by Shadow Ace, and both times I think he made nice adaptations moving through. And then Flux Waves there, just undissuadable from V-shifting defensively. Ultimately, he was right about that, and then his own offense was legit as well. So both of them looking strong as we are accustomed to seeing. They're on the loser side, as we mentioned before. Unfortunately, General and Evie didn't make things work out. Kaifan also having lost. So in losers, currently, although we're not checking it out now, will be El Chapote versus El Pongolong, and Kill Mr. Poppy versus El Gavilan. Again, though, we are headed to winners finals. We're going to be playing a 1-to-3 set.
Yes, we are. You can see on the screen, best of 5, 1-to-3 wins. But you know what, David, I kind of like what you mentioned about Fluxwave being undissuadable. I guess if we're going to refer to it, it's the undissuadable versus the stubborn V-system person. And that's going to be an interesting matchup clash here. But we're going to see them and Nat coming back. And I believe the last time these guys did encounter one another, this was the matchup that was played. So I kind of agree with this because of the V-Skill 1 reflection. I'm not sure if that's going to deter Shadow Ace at all, or he's going to find another way to work around that. Because I imagine these guys watch their replays and try to find counterplays to what the opponent does when they come up with some tech. So it could be interesting to see.
We've already seen the Reflect come into play, but it has not turned Shadow Ace off from his game plan. Jumping in right into the bad spot right there. When the orb's already out and you're at point blank versus Manat, she is a terror. Little Shadow Ace backing off. He can activate V-Trigger 1. We'll see. I'm just going to bring it out here.
Speak of the devil, there it is. Now let's see what he's going to do. He has to take this grab, delay, wake up.
You're getting, yeah, absolutely right. Great defense by Flux Waves.
Well,
however, it's still stuck. And if Shadow Ace finds the right hit right now, he can kill. No, doesn't get it. Oh no, is he going to reset him? No, it all comboed. Okay, because it all comboed, he's going to get the positional advantage anyway. Still got one more orb. He's got another V-Trigger though, David. Is he going to reflect it though? I don't think he's going to get the chance. Yeah, he's just going to reduce the durability. I like this. No, he's reducing the hits. It's actually a really good call, yeah. Oh, sweep under it still, they're jumping out! EX trying to chase here is Shadow Ace, and yet Flux Waves is just gone.
What a dive kick to avoid that fireball, because that would have been a dangerous spot there, because Ed does have an extremely fast dash, and he's going to wait. I'll wait the 20 seconds. I don't mind. I want to get a drink of water anyway, but he'll wait. He will wait.
I'm happy to see it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think. Oh no! Super though is on deck, and now how can Shadow Ace? Yeah, I don't think he can get chip. He needs to move right now if he's going to get a chance at that. EX, his own. Can he get it in time? No.
Wow, how about that? He tried to surprise him with a back throw, but it didn't work out. And I like the EX Soul Spark, because that does an abundance of chip that people don't speak about. And then the fact that he didn't reflect EX Psycho Spark, that's good, because she can't reflect EX Fireballs. It's a good situational awareness. No!
Over. Nice timing. Risky jump spot for many times, but there he had a great understanding of the situation.
Hard kick. What a whiff punish. I'll take that any day of the week. He's about to get his tree. He's about to acquire his V-Trigger again, David.
Yeah, he's got it now. That's what good as Flux Waves. Dashing in, taking the turn. Surely no quick wake up. Oh, we tried to make it a little bit tricky, but nothing like that. Flux Waves was content. Offense is here.
You get another throw here.
Orbs.
Yeah. You get one more.
If he finds the hit confirm right now, he's going to take it.
Oh no.
Didn't bring super out. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he might have been committed to getting a conversion off the Soul Sphere, but I think he had the wrong orbs remaining, so he couldn't get that juggle that I normally see anyway. But either way, he was able to bait a reversal, something that Shadow Ace's last opponent couldn't really do because he wasn't worried about it. So we're already, getting under his skin,
Round 1.
Okay, right back into it here. Shadow Ace certainly had some strong ideas in terms of how to approach this match, but ultimately over time, not enough.
Oh, okay. Execution error there with the forward medium kick, the overhead. I'm pretty sure he wanted something else, but gonna be big damage here for Shadow Ace. And what a button! Press that button. Oh, he blocked.
Great block. What a block. The awareness right there by Flux Waves is awesome.
Okay,
again, medium. The overhead, surely not intended.
Oh, you got to be careful at certain ranges.
Tons of damage left on the table right there, and now it's Flux Waves in, and he's gonna get super on this. He doesn't need a reset.
That should do it.
I'm sure it'll kill.
That should be fine.
Yeah. Minimum proration is gonna be fine on this. Flux Waves, looking good. Of course, we're in the first to 3 set. Still got a lot more work to do, but right now looking good.
Round 2.
All right, he's got the meter advantage here, so I mean, if he wants to throw out any Psycho Spark, he can do. Just to get an entry point. He does V-Skill 1 right in his face, unreactable. Oh, starting to dash, gets the counter hit, confirming to the Psycho upper. Here comes the pressure, David.
Shadow Ace dashing in, taking big advantage. Almost at his own super. Wow. Oh boy, he was going for the mix-up, and now because of that, Flux Waves has a great chance to make the comeback.
Okay, gets the throw. Can he sneak in another one before a Psycho Upper comes out? He gets, there's one more. Let's see what happens. Oh, that was a V reversal.
No.
That was a V reversal. And he gets the jab. He's got to hold this. Oh. Hang on a minute.
Still one orb there. The orb, okay, it's gone.
Speak of the devil, it saved him. Oh my word, he gets the throw.
Yeah, nice work right there by Shadow Ace. Staying alive in this thing. Still looking all right.
Yeah, real interesting there. Didn't really splurge any meat in that round, but gets clipped into the EX Soul Sphere regardless.
That in and out style that he's trying to play is key to playing against him in that, but he's not always found the right times to do it.
Yeah, I'd probably say, 60-40. He's actually had a pretty decent time doing it. That dive kick paying dividends again to avoid the fireball in the neutral. But now he's trying to find that crush counter.
Again, wow, reflect very quickly.
Oh, nice stand hard punch. That was good because of the hit stun. Yeah.
Same mix-up we saw before. Flux Waves again blocks it out. That said, Shadow Ace is still absolutely in this thing. He's gonna about even it up in life. Still no trigger. Again, he puts Flux Waves out of the corner, prioritizing a mix-up for a little bit of potential damage. Getting out of the corner entirely, losing that positional advantage.
Okay, the spacing's there. V shifts away, and that's gonna be the round. Yeah, that's dead. That is completely dead.
Yeah, as soon as he did the charge fierce, that actually gave the trigger to Flux Waves when he blocked it. So
Menat wins.
it's gonna be Menat Flux Waves up 2-0.
Yeah. Now, I don't disagree, because I've seen a lot of Ed players do it. I don't disagree with the Psycho Knuckle being done at relatively close range. You're not going to react to it. It gets you out the corner, puts you in a negative situation, so you're going to be forced to make a defensive decision. Depending on the character you fight, though, will really, make the outcome a lot different than probably what you expect. And that was unfortunate there, because Shadow Ace was forced to exhaust his V-meter on the V-shift, get punished with the trigger there by Flux Waves, which puts him 2-0 up in this upper final.
It was a good start here by Shadow Ace, but again, Flux Waves managed to escape. In and out, again, as we talked about, hugely important.
All right, there you go. This is what we talked about before. This time he blocks after the charge Psycho Knuckle.
All right, let it rip. I'm not sure what he was expecting, but whatever it was not what Flux Waves did, which was patience into delayed grab.
Yeah, and you always got to consider that your opponent not doing what you expect him to, and he backdashed into the jump there. Fortunate for Shadow Ace, but again, still not. He's getting hits, David, but nothing. Wow, as I say, a commentator's curse. He might be able to get the round off this throw if it's not a wake-up super. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Shadow Ace, definitely still in it. Last game he was in it too. He's not been out of this one.
Yeah, I think it's just he's getting a lot of his damage through the jumps. On the ground, he's not having as much success as he'd like. And a couple of hiccups are coming from that, but
the non-charged V skill I think is pretty helpful to make the opponent's mental stack a little higher. Happy to see that he brought it out right there.
Oh, he could have whiff punished that Psycho Knuckle there, Flux, but I don't think he's expecting it to block, but didn't quite work out. Here comes the pokes. Trade.
Yeah. Which is great for Minot.
And then here comes the cannon. Yeah, he's trying to hit him. Okay, I love all the answers he's shown against V111. I love them.
It's been a very comprehensive tool set that he's had against it, yeah.
Hard punch again.
So close, still, well, okay. No longer Ed's turn after all.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to approach. He's throwing everything in the kitchen sink. Still not getting what he wants. There's a dive kick. He might go for another neutral.
Man, I am impressed by Flux Waves. Playing great right now. No need to make any big bets. Another V trigger will come out, and yet Fierce will blow it up before Ed even gets their match point Flux Waves.
And this is what kind of doesn't work in Shadow Ace's favor, right? Because the cannon takes up a lot of the screen visually, you actually kind of miss where the orb's actually going to be placed. And it's got a lot of range as well. So you probably can't see it sometimes. There we go. Sweep. He's going to make it safe anyway. There's a counter hit. Yep. And Shadow Ace is probably going to look for another jump soon if he doesn't get crush counter for his troubles.
Right. Oh, he backs off. Here it is. Wow!
I don't know what that
Still
was.
there. This is actually great for Shadow Ace. Pressure.
The reverse.
Punish. Nothing.
Good jump back jab. Looking good here. Looking exceptionally strong. He did not want that overhead, so he's taking a lot. He's taking a little bit of damage there. Flux by accident.
Yeah, third time that's happened. I'm not sure what's up.
Yeah.
Patience from him. And you can tell he's playing a play style right now where he's expecting Shadow Ace to just either be far away or jump in. Very, very safety first stuff.
That should have been punished, and that should have been a bar that was spent on that punish as well. So Shadow Ace still might have an opportunity. Bad reversal. That was poor.
Yes, uncharged.
He's lucky though.
If he blocks anything, he may get trigger, and I think that's what he's looking for. Flux Waves is not giving in so easily. If he explodes this thing, yeah, okay, I love the callback. I love the callback. Deny that V trigger.
He can press lights though, because you don't build VME off of lights. But he gets close enough. There's a throw. That's fine. Okay, he's got super as well. He has got super. 10 seconds on the clock.
Running.
This is fine. Absolutely fine. He's gonna build it. He's gonna do super. Yeah, kill the timer.
Just can't get there in time. Yeah, that's it. Even if that had been super for Ed, that would have been way too long. And so it's going to be Flux Waves who takes it 3-0. Look, we saw some nice stuff out of Shadow Ace from that set. Didn't get completely skunked, but overall, I really love Flux Waves' awareness as he navigated the stage. He did a great job of staying away from where Ed wanted him to be. The dive kicks, I think, are really what stand out in my mind. Not only was he moving around looking for everything else, but when there was a fireball out, he knew that he had to evade it, and he did so perfectly every time.
Yeah, I think not just that. I think it was when, the V-Trigger 1 for Ed was out as well. The fact that he's stand fierce, because of its exceptional range, he was able to just stop Shadow Ace in his tracks because of the hit stun or the block stun, which gave him more than enough time to actually, like you said, use the dive kick or evade in some sort of manner. And then once he introduced that option, he waited and V-reversed something. He done delayed wake up when he got thrown. So, like you said, the tool set, the kind of expansive tool set he introduced and mixed it up as well, it's very hard to get a consistent entry point using that V-Trigger 1 because it does force scrambles. But if you're kind of predictable with your approach, that means that your opponent can be unpredictable with the defensive options. So, like you said, I really got to give credit where credit is due to Flux Wave. Well played to how to navigate around that V-Trigger 1.
And making it into the grand finals on winner's side as a result. Here's a look at the bracket at the moment. So Chapote made it past Old Pongolong. That was 2-0. Kill Mr. Poppy over El Gavilan when it won 2-1. And so now, next match that we're going to be going to is back to best of 3 as losers semis. El Chapote versus Kill Mr. Poppy.
Yes, indeed. So that's going to be a Mika got up against Rose. Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen this one actually. I only played it a little bit when Rose came out. But no, I don't know the latest. I don't know the latest matchup notes or interactions regarding this one, so I'm gonna have to learn this one on the fly.
That's cool. Look, there are, what are there, 45 matchups in this game per character?
Yeah.
44, I guess.
Well, 90 if you're Zeku.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So there's a lot to know, man. Not everybody knows every matchup. Not even us. Not even you, Jammers, knows every match. So we'll enjoy watching it, I'm sure, between these two. Again, we are in the top four. Chapote versus Kill Mr. Poppy. Winner of this will play against Shadow Ace in losers finals.
Yeah, so here we are just putting up the fight card on the screen for you guys. Mika going up against Rose. So like we said, Mr. Puppy's Rose is definitely something we're not used to seeing in terms of a play style with Rose. His anti-airs are going to have to be on point. Whether he's going to be focused on the aerial approach from Mika with the Soulbind anti-air or Crouching Fierce, that's going to be a big deal. He could actually use V-Trigger 2 here, actually, because if El Chacote jumps in a frustrating manner, he can just do V-Trigger activate, EX Soulbind, get the full conversion into like 400 damage or something. That could be a good deterrent. Or he can use V-Trigger 1 to step up and mix up. We will see. I'm curious
to see whether he'll have the same kind of play style here. Of course, we saw him. Oh, it won't be Rose at all. It will be Falk. How about that?
Okay.
Big change up to another character who is, I think, oftentimes thought of as a zoner, but by the way, also has excellent offense and huge damage output.
Oh, yeah. We've seen that. Shouts to Four Fields, courtesy of Four Fields there.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know he had a Falk. Yeah, this is going to be new for me. These are my previous two characters before I played Poison. Amazing. All right, there you go. Can he stun with the grab? Yeah, there it is. That did a lot. That did a lot.
It did a huge amount. Yeah, he did have the mic up.
Look at the red there. He can't Psycho Schneider. Not here.
Regular
oh my God! I said you can't do that. Oh my word! I said you can't do that.
What are you gonna do? You're just in a tough spot.
Wow. Yeah, it got to him.
Where grab would kill. You know, it's. I get it, but unfortunate.
Yeah.
Plus frames on that. Oh wow, patience into jab. In fact, by Chapote.
Okay, gets that back throw. There you go, putting the V skill out as well. Hits him with the Cycle Cannon and the low shot, and then that's going to be big. Okay.
Would have been.
The race trigger. Here comes the delay. Reset. Stays in front. Guess is wrong. One more guess will do it, and the bait. Yeah, it's too much. It is way too much, like you said, David, and not even dead. Wow.
Yeah, it's just a tough spot to be in. Again, both of the situations there. And we've seen different ways to handle that. There's certainly one. We saw how Flux Waves did. He didn't have the option of something like the EXDP, but he did have lots of V-shifts. That was his go-to. You got to find your way out of it, and much easier said than done.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of players that probably would have accepted the grab mentally and then probably tried to block to have one more guess. And there's other players like Mr. Puppy that they just crumble in that situation and want to go out swinging, regardless of what they did. Good punish there on the dive bomb.
Hey. If he's still won.
Yeah, a bit of a strange pick, but I think it's for more conversion properties. So
we did see that before, of course. So the other side is going to make it work. Uh-oh! Tried to get way too ahead of himself. Chapote was ready. Into the corner yet again.
Wow.
Yeah?
Okay. I mean, I'm down.
Oh, this guy. No!
Should be dead. That should be dead.
Do it. Yeah. Two big wake-ups by Chapote. Wake up, stand fierce. Then, 3 seconds later, wake up, hold up forward into big combo into kill.
All right, there we go. Not looking good.
And that's it's a demoralizing fact for Mr. Poppy to see those options.
Well, he gets the conversion to EX Catapult anyway, charging up the shot, gets that pressure. There's an anti-air. Here we go. He can't Psycho Schneider. He's got to hold it, and he goes for a throw tech instead, but again, El Chacote back in there.
Finally correct. We haven't seen the trigger at all. Still stuck. We may not. Wow. Look at this, Chapote. And
oh no.
That will do it. Chapote, very fast. 2-0 over Kill Mr. Poppy.
Well, unfortunate there. He showed signs of life in certain situations, but I think the best way to summarize that match was Mika was too overwhelming. The guesses got to him, especially in those dire situations, the guess for game situation, as we've called it many times over the years for Street Fighter 5. And unfortunately, Kill Mr. Puppy's tournament run has come to an end. Well played, and thank you very much for joining us today. But yeah, El Chapote, he smells blood, man. He knows when you're fearful or you're fearless of certain things. And then, you know, he just runs with that. Like I said before, man, your pain is a Mika player's power. They will run with that until the end of the set.
You got to have that mentality as the grappler player. Matches like that, you can't get turned off from always trying to get back in. Not that you have to constantly be holding forward, but you have to have that sense of when the opponent's not expecting you to do so. And that's the one thing that Chapote is excellent at. So he made it past Kill Mr. Poppy. And now, as you mentioned, the reward is Shadow Ace 50 in losers finals. Back to 3 out of 5.
Yes. And hopefully he does not get dissuaded here, because Shadow Ace has been putting up a fight, very consistent in his tournament placements in these Fight Night tournaments here. He's gonna have to continue this as well. I mean, he wants to get to the grand finals before he probably brings out the Lucia experiment with something, but the Mika is the one that brought him to the dance. And Shadow Ace, he's coming off of a pretty dominating loss from Flux Wave there in the upper bracket, because he did lose 3-0, so he didn't have to wait long. So hopefully he's thought of a strategy to counter El Chapote's gameplay, or he was leering at that last game that was just happened there. Don't be scared, because obviously Ed and Falco, two sides of the same coin. Your sister got taken down. Now it's up to you to you know, do justice and get back to the grand finals.
That's the idea here, for sure, for Shadow Ace. Two players who have a game plan in mind, and they go to it. They do not get turned off of that game plan, these guys.
Yeah, and because we saw such, you know, solid and amazing answers from Flux Waves against V-Trigger 1, I'm curious to see what El Chapote does. Will he just, you know, do a V-Trigger and then just try and fly over to put him in block stun to avoid the scenario? Will he just do wingless airplane just by itself? Will he block it and take it? It's very interesting, because I found it annoying. The fact that they increased the durability of Ed's V-Trigger 1, you just had to be more creative with how to deal with it. But some of the answers I've seen from players over the year, it's been great to see. But let me see what El Chapote's got to offer in this regard as well. It's losers final here, and it is a best of 5. So first to 3 wins will take it.
Yeah, if it's not the charged version, it is your turn as the defender. Chapote knew that, took it right away. Ah, okay. Now, good to see that Shadow Ace got that conversion. He did drop that a couple of times before. He's looking good right now on combos, coast to coast.
Wake up buttons there as well. Now, Mika can consistently punish Ed's stand hard kick with crouch and light kick. You don't get combo from it, from that range, but it's got exceptional range, so you can take the 20 damage and move on. And he tried to punch through
it. In time. Yeah, interesting idea, but not quite enough. It's very fast after all. But,
yeah,
Shadow
okay.
Ace with the first round.
That's plan A that didn't work. Let's see what plan B is when we get back to that situation.
Right.
Flicker. I always wondered why it juggles like that. It just sends you far away, gives him that Oki scenario there, Ed, but nice jump. Oh, double flicker, there you go. He doesn't really use flicker the same way, on the same vein Ending Walker does, so I really want to see him like pepper that a bit more. It's a very powerful tool.
Excellent in this range that he's been playing a lot at. He's trying to stay away. Oh, he wanted to anyway. Yeah, here's finally the crouching pierce.
Oh, he's waiting for the reversal.
Patience, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see what he does. Okay, there. Okay.
He's out of there.
Yeah, literally as I was talking about before the match even started, they're already doing it. No V reversal. What are you doing? He's done it way too late.
Way too late, and big penalty. Chapote takes the round.
How much block stun did he think that move had? That was way too late.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I wonder if that was even intended. I don't know.
Yeah, do you know what? Good point. That's a very good point. No tick throw into the command grab here, so he's going to press the buttons. Throw. Can he get a command grab now? Maybe not.
Right back into the mix.
Yeah, he thinks that Shadow Ace wants to hold up, but I don't think he's grabbed him enough to make him hold up just yet.
Dude, this approach is pretty cool actually by Chapote. Just staying away, getting some armor. Okay.
Too far, it's mid-screen. Yeah, it's mid-screen, so you won't get it unless you're super close. So you spend your super and return the favor in kind and reduce the deficit and get that life lead here. Can he sneak in a throw? Oh no, he's gonna run away. Here he comes. He can't be reversal either. Yeah, he could not be reversal. Lovely walk under. Oh, wow. That would have been the neatest body shot.
Oh, that's gonna do it. Chapote making the big reads when he needed them.
Well, interesting stuff there. Interesting interactions those last couple of seconds there. I didn't know the body splash had that many active frames to connect that low on somebody's wake up. So good, interesting meaty step there from Chapote. Shadow Ace, I think like one gripe I have about his gameplay is he spends super in weird times where you could get much more maximization from spending a bar or two and then have the extra bar for later. But I think he just likes to convert into the super just to get the damage, you know? Cool.
Stuck in a bad spot. So fast. Choosing to go for stun here. Ah! What was that, like jump wrong that you did?
Yeah, jump medium. Yeah, that was definitely jump medium.
Okay.
Ciao. Oh, wow. Psycho up. He's forced it out of him. Here he comes. Yeah, back away and then wingless airplane over the top. He's looking for it. What's he doing? Yeah, there you go. And he's put him in the corner. Yeah, that's what he wanted. He wanted to put him in the corner.
Right, yeah, backing off to words until that was the option. It's a cool choice.
Yeah, and if your opponent can't see that, that's going to do you wonders. I promise you. Sometimes, guys, whoever's watching this, you need to let your opponent do the work for you in terms of positional advantage. And what a jump. Going to take him straight to the corner with the extreme peach. Is he going to wake up with a reversal, though? That's the question. No, he's going to take it. Okay, here comes the activation. Backdash. He's going to do it again. Yeah, he'll do it again. And he, Shadow Ace hasn't seen that or identified that.
Oh, that mic.
Oh, one reset. You might be dead, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, he's going to do it here instead. Sure, cross him up? Yeah, he's going to cross him up. Oh, the block!
Oh, what a block! Oh, but not the whole thing. What a series by Chapote to seal the deal. Again, up 2-0. He needs to win one more in this first of 3 set to get a date in the grand finals on loser's side.
Yeah, he hasn't, Shadow Ace hasn't picked up on how Chapote is avoiding the V-trigger. He's still being stubborn in his ways to how to approach. He's not looking at El Chacote's resources when it's activated, and he's not even attempting a jump either because Mika can't really deal with that on the ground. She can't even slide under it because her slide is pretty active, but it will get caught on the tail end of the move, so he's gonna have to try something else. Flicker away.
He's been the one chasing so far, and this is nice. If he can keep it on his terms, no EX?
Guess not. Well, you're in trouble now. If you guess wrong, what are we gonna see?
From the front. We saw the exact opposite last time, and here we go. More defensive tools are coming out.
Good. No conversion. He needs to spend that bar for the knockdown. He could have put El Chacote straight in the corner.
Yeah, it's not get Inoki, but you do at least get forward into the corner more.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't.
As well, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not spending the bar there. Let's figure yet. Big damage. Hang on. Oh.
Hey.
And I know for a fact that combo wasn't done. I think there's still 2-3 more moves in that combo for that juggle. That's good to see.
Hey, Chapote converting as he always does. He's got the corner right away. Oh, wow. Yeah?
You're bringing that out now? Okay.
Now, yeah, you're right. It's an interesting time to bring that out. Not dispositive in rounds or games or anything like that.
Yeah.
And now it's Chapote yet again. Trying to find the max range on that Crouching Fierce. Right.
Okay, throw tech there. Trying to get out of the corner. Yeah, he has to take the grab. I thought he was going to go for a backdash in that scenario, but he can't afford to get another grab, but he does. That's going to put Chapote at match point here, David.
Final round.
Looking very strong.
Fight.
And Shadow Ace, when he's had success so far, it's been more about his own offense. Oh, man. There you go. Chapote getting the right reads when he needs them as well.
Well, he's got his triggers, so he's not V-shifting. He's definitely not V-shifting. Yeah, he needs his trigger. Here it comes. Oh! Okay.
Oh, he could have had more, actually.
Yeah, kudos for the effort, though, because at least he tried. He wasn't doing that before. Here comes the Deshko.
He got her trigger. Allowing Chapote to force offense. Big buttons.
Now yeah, got all that cross-up angle, and then another grab.
Chapote can really tell when you're feeling frozen like that, hence the command grab. He was gunning for dash command grab. Here's Shadow Ace.
Oh, that's it.
Not gonna survive.
That's it. Oh, dear. And that's going to be it. Shadow Ace's journey comes to an end in tonight's Fight Nights Invitational for the North America region. Commiserations to him. He played well. I think he just got hit, or he came up against a very brick wall, the stone monolith, as they call it, in El Chapote there. That was a dominating performance, and he's going to be emerging victorious to progress to the grand finals to get that run back against Flux Waves.
Yeah, of course, we saw that previously. That was in semifinals on the winner's side. It was a 2-1 win for Flux Waves, which meant that it was closest match the Flux Waves has had today. We've seen them play before. We've seen it go both ways. Yeah, when it comes to Chapote and his style of offense, his style of gameplay in general, he's just excellent at recognizing how you feel as the opponent. Whether you feel frozen, he recognizes that. He goes for the command grab. If you feel like you're hurried, he blocks it out. He is patient in those moments. He's very, very good at getting the sense through your gameplay of how you're feeling at the moment and capitalizing on that.
Yeah, again, unlucky to Shadow Ace. He had a couple of ideas that were flowing quite nicely. Again, I think the best way to describe it is I do have to put a question mark on the end of some of your combos. You did flicker, you had 2 bars, no conversion for Psycho Knuckle. We know how much mileage the character gets off that. That would have changed a lot of rounds and put El Chapote in a lot of dangerous spots. I think as well, I'm not sure if that's a personal stubbornness or it took too long to identify what Chapote was doing, or he's running a lot of options in his head. But when the Psycho stream comes out, you really have to pay attention to how your opponent wants to escape. And then you got to note that in the memory banks. Maybe anticipate. He did it in the last game, but for me, that was too little too late. But yeah, he really needs to work on how people want to escape. I know what he wants to do with the trigger, but he needs to learn how people want to escape and what their options are. That's my only gripe, really.
Well, if he's going to do it, it's going to be sometime in the future, as we're taking a look at the bracket here, because we only have 2 players left in this one. It's going to be Flux Waves coming into this on winner's side, so he needs to win only 1 3 out of 5 set. Chapote, loser's side. Again, as we mentioned, it is a run back, as you can see right there in the middle of your screen. But he's got to do it from loser's side, so 2 3 out of 5 sets is what he's got to get through versus Flux Wave, who's looked strong the whole day.
I mean, fighting Mika in a 1st to 2 is dangerous enough. So when you emerge victorious on that's going to do a whole lot of good for your confidence. Definitely bolster that in that regard. Flux Wave going to go back to the poison pick, I'm going to assume, because the skill 1 is going to be doing the work. And because El Chapote has had to run the gauntlet, I don't think he's had time to quickly look at what V-Skill 1 does and his counterplays to that. He's had to just think about it on the fly while just playing in the lower bracket. But yeah, we're going to stick to what these guys chose in their first encounter tonight. And let's see who emerges victorious. We are in the grand finals. As David mentioned, 3 games for Flux Waves to win, 6 games for El Chapote to win. Let's get to it.
A similar game plan here from both at the start. Remember how that in and out was so important for Chapote. Trying to make it work here. A little bit too far for butt. Reading jumps the 3rd time. He was right.
It's a mind game with that heart rate, man. The stance is the same, but the whip release is all different, and he gets hit and straight to the corner here.
Really nice. I love it. Again, we're seeing V-shift. There is a red bar there.
What a jump.
Amazing timing by Flux Waves.
Rotate again, trying to get a slide. He's waiting for the jump there. Yeah, he's waiting for it. Oh, man. And I'll tell you one thing that's interesting. Well, let's wait for this round to pan out and explain it. There you go. Goes out with heart rate. So one of the changes Poison got with the V-Skill is you can cancel into V-Skill 1 from EX heart rate on the first hit. So if you do anti-air EX heavy heart rate, the anti-air one, you can convert it into V-Skill 1 and get even more damage. So maybe Flux might do that later. With spacing.
Just walk back with Flux Waves.
Yes,
Takes
the counter hit
advantage of the plus
confirmed.
frames here. Here's the combo. Okay.
Here we go. Please don't V-shift again. He's just gonna. Oh, I said
He did do it.
Wow.
He can escape. He can escape and lives. No,
And it's gonna be
overextending.
Yeah, not the round though. Throw tech again. Try to catch him with the throw tech and the V-shift. No. Oh, that's gonna be a punish.
Was that okay? Yeah.
Wow.
Game one goes to Flux. That really could have been different. That was very close. One thing I've noticed about Chapote's game around the stun bar all night is that he will give up that last hit, that last grab, that may guarantee stun in favor of getting the next hit, which will guarantee not just stun, but kill in most situations. That hasn't actually worked out in most of them.
The fact that he's had the situation awareness or the fixation on the stun bar, I think is something you got to commend in its own right, of course, because he just wants to galvanize his opponents making the wrong choice, and I don't think at this level they're deterred by that. Good check there with the lights. Nice jump. That's gonna be a full combo.
But instead, yeah, Flux Wave's doing a great job. He's got offense again.
Yeah, he had to be reversal. He had to. We'll take that guess. Jump away, and then, yep, gonna hold it. Hard kick on defense again. He's gonna take him straight to the corner here, not spending the Molotov. And another throw tech there from El Chapote. Here comes the Molotov again.
Allowing one chance here for Mika. It was the standing grab until Flux Waves is away. Great work.
Can't jump. Yeah, he cannot jump. He's got to do this on the ground. Yeah, he has to do this on the ground.
Oh, he was so worried. Even after he got the dash, you could tell that he had the sense that Flux Waves would try something else, jump away or something like that. Flux Waves was patient.
He just can't get a read on him right now. Yeah, waiting for that jump. He might have to be more grounded, just dash, maybe throw out a Hail EX shooting peach. But he's not going to get that chance at the moment. Here comes the Oki. It stuns high. There's the jump.
Yeah, the health bar's low. Flux Waves will approach. Racking up the chip.
That's fine. That is absolutely fine.
Flux Waves is happy with that. Yeah, he can get the kill here, and he will do exactly that. 2-0 very quickly here by Flux Waves.
He's playing this perfectly, man. The spacing is on point. It's meticulous. He's getting a lot of... I think he's got a very good sense of when he feels Chapote wants to jump. So he's going for the heavy heart rate for the read. And even if you don't react to it, it's actually super quick anyway. So you're just going to see it. The problem is, by eye, you're not going to try and dash or do EX shooting peach on the ground. But he might have to go for that because when Flux Waves does hold the whip, it does extend her hurt box. So it will connect at a further range. That's probably deceptive to you, but it's probably easier to deal with. But yeah, staying on the ground, maybe even enticing him with the V-Skill 1. He hasn't tried that either. He might go try Lucia now, actually. That's a good choice.
I suppose why not at this point? You've lost one set already. You are close to losing the second with Mika, and does not seem closer to finding the solution with her than he had before. So yeah, I suppose why not? Give it a go with Lucia.
Because we saw it with, well, I'm not sure if you've seen it. Kawano did that against Fudo in one of the Street Fighter League episodes when their two teams encountered, and Kawano just like basically decimated him, which was interesting to see. It was a very interesting character choice, but when you look at it in retrospect, there are some options Lucia can work with, and we know Chapote has been putting in work with Lucia for years, so it's not out of the cards. And remember, like we said, you're looking at two players that had the potential. They almost had the possibility of qualifying for the cup. They just couldn't do it. He's going with V-Trigger 2.
That's the change here. Okay.
Costume change as well. I guess he needs... I think he needs a better scramble scenario. That's probably what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the V-Skill as well. When you do the V-Skill 1, you can counter it like that. Big damage coming through, though. Jump out of the corner. Yes, this is fantastic for El Chapote at the moment.
Excellent start. Neutralized very quickly.
You might have to V-Skill out. Yeah, it just does a raw jump.
Jumped over. Look at this.
Another throw tech. Another throw tech. Punished. That could have been punished. The stand light kick was in range. He could have got the cancel there, but he wasn't sure about it there. Throw tech again. Wow.
Oh no. as Nadeshko was whiffing the chair right next to Mika, Mika was getting got and sent into a situation of match point for Flux Waves, tournament point for Flux Waves.
Counter, he's in the corner already. And another V-shift, unsuccessful again. Please do not do that
Doesn't
again.
have it now. Yeah, well, I had to stay patient, but
There you go.
he did, and Flux Waves is here.
Wow.
There it is, there it is, there it is.
Yeah, the V skill, he's been an absolute nuisance with it. Gets the anti-air, and he's going to block it out this time. And it's going to be a conversion straight into the shooting
excellent
peak.
recognition right away that it was close enough for the Fierce to connect. We didn't need to spend bar.
Yeah, there's actually, I think there's one or two ranges where the Fierce will whiff. So, yeah, got to give him the credit.
Good work.
Jump. Damage coming through. He spends the bar. I thought he would have saved that for heart rate, but he didn't.
Very clever reset in the grab here. This allows, though, Chapote to find something into the trickiest mix-up I've seen blocked tonight.
In a minute. All right, watch out for the jump as well. We're looking for it soon. Here comes the steel chair.
Oh, really got almost nothing out of the trigger. Yeah, very bad spot here. Punish, not quite, but that's the read by Flux Waves that Miko would be in the sky. And he was right, as he has so often been throughout their set, both in this one and in earlier winner's side. Flux Waves will take the tournament.
Yes, in dominating fashion with our pink-haired showstopper. Fantastic play from start to finish from Flux Wave. I think he only drops one game today, which I gotta give him credit for. Not easy to do. I don't care what the tournament is. You gotta give credit where credit is due. Stuck to his guns, really came with the matchup knowledge, really came with the strategies here to not only take the victory, but another dub here for the Fight Nights in the North America region. As we look back at the bracket, there you go. He beats El Gavilan, he beats Chapote 2-1, he beats Shadow Ace, and he beats El Chapote in the grand finals. So that was an incredible run there. Definitely got to be the MVP of today for that solid performance. Hey, David.
Absolutely. And again, always great to see that in these events there is a prize pool for folks. As we talked about before, all the top 4 get paid out, which is something that I love to see. Is of course going to be the lion's share of that going toward Flux Waves. Again, as we often mention, if you would like to get involved in this, really recommend that you do so. And the way to do that is with compete.playstation.com. Even if you're not somebody who you feel you can get up into the grand finals, as we just saw between those two players, it's still invaluable, I think, to get the experience that something like compete.playstation.com offers. Again, it's not just tournaments, although that's a big part of it. It's not just Street Fighter either. There's a lot of other games that you can find over there. Please do so. Check it out at compete.playstation.com.
Do not forget as well, you can do that and sign up. What you can also do is you can join the community Discord with the PlayStation tournaments to find out more about regular updates on the esports events, articles regarding them, and videos on how to improve. Just be out with others to improve your gameplay and discuss fighting games. That's what we like to do. We are in the transition of going into a new generation of fighting games with Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, so on and so forth. So please, join as many Discord as you can. I know you guys do this screen sharing thing and all that business on Discord, so why not join the PlayStation 1 and get more competitive? And heck, maybe you can win yourself $200 or get in that top 4 for a payout. It's going to be good to deed. There is a QR code, or just hit the link on that page right there. Make sure you join.
Hey, there you go, man. Another great night of this. Happy to see all the players play. Awesome to see the different character variety that we're accustomed to. Really cool to see mid-set changes and adaptations, some of which resulted in wins, some of which resulted in losses. Just very, very cool to see. I loved watching it as always. Thanks a lot, Jammers.
Yeah, always a pleasure just listening to you and commentating alongside you, David, despite I saw you just a week ago. But yes, it is going to be a good one. So yes, thank you very much for everyone that tuned in. Make sure you follow us on our Twitter accounts right there. Make sure you follow the PlayStation channel and keep up to date on when the next Fight Night action or any PlayStation tournament is heading your way. Until then, we're going to love you and leave you. Stay safe, keep playing fighting games, and we'll see you on the next Fight Nights for Street Fighter 5.